Hey guys, Weeby News here, and today we are going to be ranking the beta designs of Danganronpa 2, and I'm super excited. It seemed like you guys enjoyed the last video, and it was a ton of fun to make, so I am excited to jump into this one. And there's a lot of, really interesting beta designs for Danganronpa 2, so I think you guys will be pretty intrigued by some of the choices that were almost made. Also for this one, I decided to use my handy dandy art book that I got because I wanted to compare and see if there was any extras that I couldn't find online that were in this art book, and there actually was a couple of them. I'm pretty sure they probably were included in like the Danganronpa 2 art book when that came out, but I couldn't really find any scans of them online, so you guys can look forward to that. Some not seen very often beta designs. But yeah, one quick plug before I start. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram and TikTok. I'm really trying to like post more on other social media, and I'm getting really into like cosplay recently too, so if you're interested in looking at that, feel free to follow me on those different social media apps. And please be sure to like the video if this is something that you're interested in. And yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Okay, to start out, we are going to be doing Beta Chiaki's designs. And this first one is the one where she looks almost exactly like Chihiro. That would have been a very interesting choice, I feel like. I mean, the design's really cute, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, of course the design's cute. It looks like Chihiro, so of course she looks amazing. But yeah, this design makes me like a little sad because I feel like it kind of makes me think of like what Chihiro would have looked like if they would have made it out of the first game alive. I mean, this is how I like imagine them looking in like the Future Foundation suit and stuff. Like, it just makes me sad. I do like this design. I think it's really cute for like Chihiro if they were to have survived, but not really for Chiaki, just because it's like a little too on the nose, you know what I mean? But yeah, since I think this would be really cute for Chihiro, I'm going to put it in the A category. And next we have this design, Chiaki with like dark hair and bangs. I mean, I don't dislike this design, I just don't feel like it really fits with like Chiaki's personality very much. She kind of reminds me more of like Maki in this kind of, I would assume, a more serious character. I don't know if that was like maybe one of their original ideas with Chiaki, but I like that Chiaki's just like so sweet and adorable, you know what I mean? And we already kind of got like a serious or a more serious side girl in like Danganronpa 1 with Kirigiri, so I like that Chiaki's personality was like a decent bit different from her, you know what I mean? There's actually a picture of Chiaki with like a similar hairstyle to this that I found online. I don't think I'm crazy about it overall. I feel like the design's just like a little too plain for me as well. I might put this one kind of like in C. It's not bad, I just kind of feel like even if they were to give that design to like another character, I feel like they would need to kind of like go through and revamp, change the outfit a little bit, you know, make the design a little bit more interesting, you know what I mean? And next we have Chiaki's third design, which it looks like she's actually wearing the outfit that the beta Kirigiri was wearing, or pretty similar to that outfit actually. It also looks really similar to one of Mahiru's designs, and it kind of makes me wonder if Mahiru was meant to be like the best girl, or you know, like the helper girl character for a while, because the designs look pretty similar. And although I do like this design, I don't really feel like it fits Chiaki's personality overall, you know what I mean? She definitely looks like nicer than the other beta design. I could see her being kind of more cheerful at least, but she doesn't really look like a gamer at all, which makes me think that originally, you know, she was planned to have like a totally different talent. I feel like it's kind of early to do an S rank, but I do really like this design. I think she's really pretty. It's something I would really enjoy seeing them like reuse, honestly, in like another game. I do really like it, and she looks so much like the Kirigiri beta, so I gotta give her S tier, you know what I mean? Next we have Monomi's beta designs, and they are interesting to say the least. And so for the first one we have Monomi, who is half red and half white, and she's holding like these knives. I'm guessing she was supposed to be evil in one of the original designs. There's also one of her as a bear and one of her as a bunny, which overall I think I am glad they ended up making her a bunny, because I think it kind of makes her look like more unique, you know, standing next to Monokuma. I just kind of think it's like a nice contrast. And yeah, it looks like she actually has like a skull tattoo on the bear design for her. It's like almost so hard to imagine like Monomi being evil. I kind of like the fact that in Danganronpa 2 they kind of set it up to make it seem like she's gonna be evil, because I was so suspicious of her when I started playing that game, because she was all like nice and cute, and I was just like, there's no way I trust you. I have played the other game, I know you're evil. And I like the fact that she ended up being good, and it sort of like psyched you out on that, because I assume a lot of other people probably felt the same way as me. But yeah, overall, I don't think the design is like bad or anything. I'm just glad that Monomi ended up being nice. I like the fact that it psychs you out with that, you know, so I will put it in C. Next we have her skull poo-poo diaper. I just wanted to give this one like its own category because what were they thinking? Why would you put it on the diaper too? Scary poo-poo. Like it's just so strange to me. I think that's pretty cursed. I think that deserves the cursed category for sure. I feel like it's just like the worst place to put something that's supposed to be like intimidating, you know what I mean? And next we have her in these little hats, her in the baby hat, and I have no idea what she's holding in this picture either. It's driving me crazy because to me, it looks like a tampon, and that's like the only thing I can see. I know it's not, I'm 100% positive it's not, but that's what it looks like. But yeah, I don't think I really like the baby outfit either, especially if she's supposed to be intimidating. Like, it's a pacifier, has a tampon, little baby hat. God, I'm so scared. If only you had on the skull diaper, then I would be even more terrified. Monomi just like chasing you around the island with a tampon. You can't get away from me. Yeah, that's cursed too. I'm gonna put that in the curse category. And then we have her in this little hat with a skull on it. Honestly, I think I like this one better than the baby hat. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna move the bunny up to B, and then I'm gonna move this to C, because I feel like I do kind of like the half red design for like a different character, you know what I mean? I just don't really like the idea of evil Monomi, so I think it's okay to put that in B. And I'll put this one in C because I don't hate it. I do think I like it better than her with like the pacifier and like the baby hat. I do think it's better than that one, but I still don't really think I like it that much. Okay, next we're moving on to Hiko's beta designs, which he literally has so many designs, and a lot of designs for him, Nekomaru, and Teruhiko. Like, it seems like they kind of switched him out. Like, some designs for Hiko look really similar to Nekomaru, and then some designs for Nekomaru look really similar to Hiko, and then same with Teruhiko for like a couple of his designs. But yeah, you'll kind of understand more as I start going through these. Okay, first we have this buff Hiko design, which I honestly kind of like this design. I think it's pretty dope. I love his tie. I wish they would have kept this tie with like the two skulls kind of on here, like paralleling each other. I think it looks like really cool and intimidating, and I think I actually prefer it to Hiko's tie in the game, because he just kind of has like a bullhead on his tie, but I think this looks like cooler and more intimidating. I do enjoy the fact that Hiko is like so cute, but also like so mean. I feel like it kind of adds to like his inferiority complex, and I don't know, it just kind of makes him like an overall really endearing character to me and kind of adds to his charm. So even though I do like this design, and I think it'd be cool to reuse in a later game, but I don't know if I necessarily see it being like super good for Hiko, so I'm gonna put it in A category. I do think a slight nitpick I have about this one is, I mean, this guy looks like he's like 40. There's no way I would ever imagine this guy being like a high school student. Like, who are you trying to fool, bud? Maybe he failed like for 20 years. For 20 years and he's still in freaking high school. Still somehow at Hope Speak Academy. We don't know how. He still is somehow the ultimate mobster, even though he is dumb as bricks and keeps failing the same grade for 20 years straight. Okay, the next design we have is this one for Hiko, and he's also super hella buff in this one. Like, his arms, it's like the soccer design from the last video where she had like those Toguro like legs, but now this guy just has it in his arms. I'm so glad they didn't make anybody this buff. I can't even imagine moving those arms. Like, they're so freaking stiff. I don't know, it's kind of like a little curse to me, honestly. I think his arms are just too buff to me, dude, man. I don't know, they look so weird. I like his face though. Granted, he also looks like he's like 40. I don't know, there's a little bit of curse energy to this one, but I do think I like his face design, so I'll put him in B. Some of these I'm like so indecisive on. I might move them around, honestly, like as I go. And then next we have this design, which I actually really like this design. I don't know if I really see it being like super good for Hiko necessarily, because like I said, I do like that Hiko is like, you know, like cute and mean. I think it like adds to his charm, but I don't know, there's just something like really visually satisfying about this design. I really like it. I think it might honestly be like one of my favorites from the beta designs. But yeah, I actually might put this design in S. I don't know why, but I just really like it. I just feel like it'd be like a really cool design to reuse for like a buff character in Danganronpa 4 if we are lucky enough to get that. I'm really curious to know what his personality is supposed to be too, because he looks really demented in this one picture. Maybe it's just because he kind of has like psycho killer vibes that I like this design so much. I do tend to like the unhinged characters a decent bit. But yeah, moving on, we have this design for Hiko, and like I said, he has a lot of designs and a lot of them are like super buff. It kind of seemed like it might have been like a last minute decision to make Hiko not the buff character. because he just has so many like super jacked designs. But yeah, I think overall I don't really have too much of an opinion on this one. I don't think it really like stands out to me too much like either way in terms of like the buff designs. I do like his little cape here. I feel like there could be some really like interesting designs that they could put there. But other than that, I don't really have too much of an opinion. I think overall, I think I'm gonna put him in C. Like I said, I don't really feel too strongly about him either way. And I think I'm gonna move this Monomi one down to D. I think I was too kind on it because I feel like I like these designs a lot more than the Monomi with the little skull hat one on it. I kind of think the skull hat's cute, but no, I don't think it's cute. I'm gonna stop lying to myself. Oh, looky, it kind of makes like a full Monomi here. That's fun. And next we have this one, which terrifies me and haunts me in my nightmares. I like that it looks like he doesn't have like any pupils here either. It's like, so scary. Why are you so scary in this design of Fuyuhiko? But yeah, I don't think I'm crazy about this one. I do think it'd be super funny if he was actually like a super nice, chill guy, but like this was his face. He's like the nicest dude in the whole freaking game, but his face the whole time is just like, I like the idea of there being like a really nice character with a super mean face like this, because I think that would be funny. But I don't really feel like there's too much else to his design that's like super interesting besides that. So I might put him in C. And next we have this one. I really like the snake print jacket that he has on. It looks very mobster. Very cool. I actually like this one a lot. Before Fuyuhiko out of the buff designs, this might be another one of my like favorite buff versions for him. If they were gonna go in this direction, I think this might be one of the better ones at least. Probably up there with like the first one that we covered. But yeah, I think I'm gonna put this one in A. And next up we have this other buff design for Fuyuhiko. Like I said, he has a lot. This one, I think something I find really cool about it is like the 3 face scars that he has. I really am interested to know like what the story would have been for that. Like makes me think he like fought a tiger or something, honestly, and they just got like scratched around the face. But I'm sure more than likely he would have gotten it from like a gang battle or something. It's actually really interesting that Fuyuhiko doesn't have any scars, even though he is like a mob boss. I guess he just makes sure to tell them, you know, don't hit the face. That must be what it is. That's how Fuyuhiko has managed to keep such an adorable face. Another thing I like about this guy's design is that his eyeliner game is on point. He's got like Saihara eyelashes in this design. Looking good. But yeah, overall I like this design a good bit. I'll probably put it in the A rank as well, just because yeah, I feel like I like the idea of like having the scars on his face and kind of like learning where that comes from. And next we have the Crimson Chin. Oh god. This one's totally cursed in my opinion. Oh god, it just looks so weird. His chin is so freaking big. I do kind of find it interesting that this is where like Fuyuhiko's like official outfit originated from, it seems like. And again, I like this tie better than the tie they ended up going with Fuyuhiko. I don't know if they just didn't want to make something like quite as detailed, but this dragon tie looks like really cool. Yeah, even though I like the tie, I think I'm still gonna put this in D. I really hate that chin. And next we have this design, which again, like the eyeliner game, on point. Another thing about it, Fuyuhiko had pretty good like eyelashes in the actual game too. Just like that baby face look, you know what I mean? But overall, I don't know if I really have too much to say about this design. I kind of like the fact that it seems like he has like scars on his chest. I think that's kind of cool. But I don't think it's my favorite out of like the buff character designs. So I think I'm gonna put it in C. And next up we have Mobster Nekomaru, which I kind of like this one just because it's kind of cool to see Nekomaru as like a mob boss, you know what I mean? It's interesting too to kind of see like the thought process of how they went with like Fuyuhiko's design and how it like eventually just kind of turned into Nekomaru and then they just kind of switched characters with it. I think that's kind of cool. But since it's Nekomaru, I'm probably gonna rate this one pretty high. I like Nekomaru's design. I'm so glad he ended up being like the team manager rather than the mob boss, but mostly because I kind of like that Nekomaru has like such a sweet like personality, you know what I mean? But it's still a cool design. I think A is pretty good for it. And now we have Teruhiko. When they were I guess considering making him Teru, they were like, well shit, we decided to give that other design to the team manager, so now what are we gonna do with the baby face design? Oh, the mobster, of course. He kind of looks like Astro Boy in these designs to me too. Like I can't unsee that. I like the fact that Fuyuhiko is like cute, but like not too cartoonish, you know what I mean? I don't really like the goofy designs super much in Danganronpa sometimes, just because I feel like it kind of like breaks the fourth wall sometimes, and I could definitely see this one kind of doing that. I think D is pretty good for it. Next up we have the actual mobster Teru, and this is one of the ones that I couldn't actually find online. And I actually had to take a picture of my art book from my phone, so it might be a little less quality because of that. But yeah, this one's cursed as hell. It might have been better if I didn't have the art book so we didn't have to see it. I don't know why with a lot of these beta sketches, like they really wanted to make bowl cuts a thing. Like bowl cuts are never a good thing to go with. They're never a good thing to include. Just don't do it. But yeah, I'd say this is pretty cursed. Also, if you ended up having like Teru's personality as a mobster, I think that's just too much power to give to Teru. true, you know, considering he's so perverted. Next up, we have Gas Mask Girl, as I'm gonna call her. But yeah, it seems like this was a character that was just totally unused. One really interesting thing about her is that it seems like she's wearing Kaide's uniform. So it's kind of cool that they ended up actually using this uniform for, you know, such an important character in a future game. But I do like her design a good bit. I mean, I feel like she's very pretty. I don't really understand the point of the gas mask or why this was like such a thing that like they were trying to push into Danganronpa 2, because there's some designs with Ibuki with a gas mask on. And then there's also what I'm assuming is like her brother, who is the next person, which is Gas Mask Man. I'm assuming that maybe they were like intended to be related, or I guess they could have been like two different designs for like the same character. They just didn't know if they wanted to make them a girl or a boy. I mean, I like both designs a decent bit. I just don't really know what their talent would be. Maybe like a chemist or something like that. I like the idea of them being like twins or something too. We haven't actually seen twins in Danganronpa, and I feel like that'd be kind of like an interesting idea to have, especially because like I feel like twins have like such a special connection that if like one of them died, it would be like really heartbreaking for the other one, and I could see like a lot of development that could like come from that, especially if like one of the twins ended up like killing and the other twin didn't know. I feel like that would be like a really interesting idea to explore. So yeah, I think I'll put both of these in A tier. And next we have the Dark Ruler himself, Gundam Tanaka, who they made somehow more emo looking. This guy totally shops at Hot Topic. I honestly kind of want to give it like an automatic S tier, just because the little hamster hides in his hair. That's so freaking cute. Oh, that's too adorable. But I do like Gundam's official design a lot. I would miss his little like froyo swoop that he kind of has at the top of his hair. But I do think the idea of the hamsters hiding in his hair to be super adorable. Although I guess it does kind of make more sense for them to hide in his scarf because there'd be more space. It's not like there's a whole lot of space in his hair to hide, especially in this design. I'm gonna put this one in the blessed category because although I do prefer his official design, I just think the idea of the hamsters hiding in his hair to be so freaking cute and so blessed. It does make more sense for them to hide in the scarf, but I don't care. It's somehow cuter for it to be in the hair. And next up we have Hajime Hanada, who looks like Mahiru in this design. I'm also pretty sure I've heard rumors that some people think that Mahiru was maybe intended to be the protagonist at some point, and I can kind of see why people would think that, since he does kind of look like her a decent bit in this design. And then yeah, she has that other design that kind of looks like she was meant to be like the helper character as well, since she looks so similar to Chiaki's design, and then of course that design of Kirigiri. There's also a fan project where it has Mahiru as like the main character instead of Hajime. I haven't really looked into it too much, but I'll link it down below if you guys want to check it out. But yeah, I haven't heard like any confirmation on whether or not that's true, that she was intended to be the protagonist, or you know, even like the best girl or like the helper character at any point. I'm just pretty sure I've heard like other fans talk about it. I feel like I do like this design. I feel like I could see them being more of a Tagami character, you know what I mean? I don't know, they look kind of uppity. I'll probably put this one in B, I think. I'm not like super in love with it, but I do think it could be like a cool design if they like worked on it a little bit more and kind of like maybe gave it to another character with like a different talent, you know what I mean? And next we have Hajime with no Ahoge, and my god, it is so cursed. Cursed, 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 cursed. Why would they ever consider not giving him an ahoge? He looks wrong, man. He just looks freaking naked without the ahoge. It's so wrong and it's so weird. You can see this little hair too. It's trying so hard. It's trying so hard to sprout up and make him the main character he was always destined to be, but it just can't do it. It's too weak. At this point, I feel like I'm just so conditioned to see like a Danganronpa protagonist having an ahoge that it just looks like so wrong when they don't have one, you know? And next we have this design, which I think it's kind of a cool design, but I'm not like super duper interested in it. I think it just kind of looks like a little plain, to be honest. He does have an ahoge though, so it's not cursed at the very least. I don't know why, but he kind of reminds me more of like a Bakugan character than like a Danganronpa character, so I think I'm just not super into it. Maybe they can send the design to Bakugan and they can work with it. I'll put it in C. Next up we have Emo Hajime, which I actually really like this design. I think a big reason is probably just because he looks so much like Saihara in this design. It really does kind of seem like they almost reused it a little bit and just kind of changed the change where the hair swoop went. But yeah, overall I like it. There can only be one emo boy in the Danganronpa franchise though, and that is Shuichi Saihara with his beautiful, beautiful eyelashes. But since he looks like Saihara, I'll put him in A. Next up, we have this design, which I like a good bit. He kind of reminds me of like a Yu-Gi-Oh character. I think it's just because his hair is like so spiky. He also looks a lot like one of the characters from Danganronpa Dead End, which is a fan project I played a while back. I'm assuming they were inspired by this design because they look pretty similar. But yeah, overall, I do like this design a good bit. I don't think I like it quite as much as some of the other ones in A, so I'm gonna put it in B instead. Next up, we have Emo Prep School Hajime, as I think he looks looks like. I like this design a lot though, honestly. That's probably like one of my favorite beta designs for Hajime. He looks very like sleek and he has an ahoge, which is a plus. I feel like this design kind of works better for like an antagonistic character because he just looks so like kind of cool, and he kind of gives me this vibe that he's like a little bit of a little shit, you know what I mean? He's got like his tie undone, like he just doesn't have a care in the world. He's too cool for this killing game. I feel like this design doesn't really fit Hajime because he does look like too cool for school kind of, you know what I mean? And Hajime is kind of dorky, I feel like, you know, because he was like so obsessed with being like in Hope's Peak Academy, and I like the fact that Hajime has this like kind of cute but like dorky like design to him. I feel like it might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm gonna put it in S rank. I think it'd be a pretty cool design, yeah, for like a more antagonistic type of character. And next we have this Hajime, which looks a lot like one of Kamida's designs as well, which kind of makes sense because if you guys watched my analysis where I compared Kamida and Oma, I talked about like the game's themes and how they kind of like connect to that, and there's a lot of like parallels between Hajime and Kamida, probably enough that I could make like a whole video discussing that. So if you guys are interested in that, I could definitely try to make a video discussing it. I do prefer the design they went with Hajime overall because I do like Hajime's design a good bit. I like that sort of balance he has between like dorky and cute, you know? Just cute enough to be cool, but just dorky enough to where I feel like I can kind of pick on him a little bit. But I do like this design a good bit though still, so I'll probably put it in A rank. Next up, we have Hajime looking exactly like Naegi. I don't know. I like Naegi a lot. I just don't like the idea of them like reusing Naegi's design so hardcore for a protagonist. I'm gonna put this in D, to be totally honest. And it's not because I don't like Naegi, I don't like his design or anything. It's really just because like, if they would have used that in the game, I would have been like, why does he look exactly like Naegi? Like, I thought it was cool that they made Kamida look like Naegi because, you know, Kamida's like the sort of demented version of Hope. And I feel like Kamida's like a really good balance of like looking unique while also kind of looking like Naegi and sort of paralleling him in a way. I think it's like a good sort of in between. And I feel like this one just looks exactly like Naegi. And it wouldn't really make sense to make another character that is a protagonist look exactly like the protagonist from the previous game. That would just really bother me. Next up, we have Ibuki. She looks good. I mean, Ibuki always looks good. Who am I kidding? But I do like her hair in the official design a good bit better, so I'm probably gonna rank this one in like B, I think. She's still very beautiful, but I feel like the horns, like the long hair, is pretty iconic for Ibuki. A bit more rock star looking to me as well. And next up, we have this design for Ibuki, which is cursed as hell. I don't know why, but this was like another weird thing that they kind of wanted to make work in Danganronpa 2, making like sparkling justice an official character design. And I mean, it just looks so cursed. I'm so glad they didn't go with this. I will say though, like besides the face, the design is beautiful. Like I really like the outfit. I really like the hair. I actually like the outfit and the tattoos that they have in this design better than what they went with for Ibuki. So I feel like it would be like an S tier if they just put Ibuki's face on this body, but like the face is just so cursed. I'm so glad they didn't end up going with this. I just don't think the outfit can save her with this one. This is too cursed. It's gotta go in the curse section. Next up, we have this design, which I do like a good bit, but I think I do prefer Ibuki's official design. Still a decent amount more to this. I think Ibuki's official design just looks more like punk, kind of rocker with like the cut up bangs and I don't know, the crazy horns and stuff like that. So I think I'll probably put this one in B. I think it'd be pretty cool for like another design that they can maybe reuse later. But overall, I just really like Ibuki's official design a good bit. And it's kind of the same with this one. She still looks very pretty, kind of similar to like, you know, the previous design as well. She has like very soft facial features, I feel like, in these designs too. It kind of reminds me of like Mikon. It makes me wonder if her personality would be a bit more timid, you know? I can't imagine such a timid, sad face singing "I squeezed out the baby, yet I don't know who the father is." I just don't know if I quite see it. So yeah, I think I'll put this one in B too. And next we have Gas Mask Ibuki, which I think this is pretty cool, but again, I don't know that I really see the point of the gas mask, you know what I mean? But I like that she kind of has these like rocker cut up bangs, kind of like what she has in the official design. And I like the really hardcore like eyeliner that she has too. I think this is probably A rank for me, even though again, I don't really know that I totally get the gas mask part, but I do like this design of her face without the gas mask on. I think as long as she's not wearing the gas mask for like a majority of the time her character is on screen, it's an A, so I'm gonna put her in A. Otherwise, if she did have the gas mask on the whole time, I'd probably put her in like C, to be honest. I don't know if I'd really be feeling it too much if she had that on the whole time. And next we have this one, which is like knockoff Mizuno design. I really don't like this one at all. It's kind of similar to like the Naegi Hajime design. It's like, man, they just look so similar to like characters from previous game. It would just feel very like unoriginal to include them in this. And I feel like her personality would just be like totally different different with this. Like she'd be more kind of like Mizuno, singing just like, you know, fun pop songs and not the iconic meme-tastic songs that Ibuki has. So yeah, I think D is pretty appropriate for this one. I'm not crazy about it at all. Next up, we have one of Kamida's beta designs, which makes him look quite emo. I feel like he looks a good bit like that one Hajime design that I already talked about. I do like this design a decent bit, but I do prefer Kamida having like white hair because I feel like it sort of like foreshadows the fact that he has this like terminal illness, you know, that's really affecting him. And although I do like it, I don't really have too much of a strong opinion on it. I do think I'll put it in A rank since I do think it's a nice design, and I definitely could see it being like used for a future character as well. Next up, we have this design for Kamida, which for whatever reason, I imagine him being like 4'5" with this design. He looks so small and adorable in this design. I like the skull zipper a lot too. And I feel like this design kind of similar to like Kamida's official design. It's a pretty good mix between like cute, but also you can tell that they have creepy sprites sort of like drawn up for him, and I feel like he can kind of pull off both pretty well. I also really like the fact that his hood has these like little bunny ears kind of on it. I think that's adorable. I'll put this one in A. Next up, we have this design for Kamida, which a lot of people have referred to as like the Grim Reaper design because I believe they actually called it that in a translation of the Danganronpa 2 art book. And I love this design. I think it's so cool. He looks so intimidating in this. It does look like a much more intimidating version of the previous design we just talked about. This one's definitely gotta be an S rank for me. He looks so cool. I guess one of the main reasons they didn't go with this one is because they wanted to make it seem like, you know, he could be nice at some point. He just looks so intimidating in this one too, so I feel like he couldn't really psych you out in the first chapter at all, like they at least tried to do in Danganronpa 2. It's hard for me to decide if I like his official design or this one better, because I do love his official design, the fact that he can really pull off like a very innocent but also very creepy look with that design. But I just think this one looks so like cool too, you know, for like totally different reasons. Next up, we have Mahiru, which again looks a lot like that Chiaki design that I showed earlier. And like I said, it does seem like maybe Mahiru is meant to have like a bigger role in the series than she ended up having. Honestly, I think I like this design a lot better for Mahiru than the official one. It looks a bit more like unique, you know what I mean? And it still looks good with like the camera. She still looks like, you know, she could be the ultimate photographer and it works pretty well. It just looks like a more unique design. I wonder if they kind of made it more plain because they decided to kill her off a bit earlier. But yeah, I think I'll put this one in S too. I like it a lot. Next up, we have this design for Mikan, which I honestly just love. I think she looks so pretty. And I don't know, I'm such a simp for Mikan. I just love her so much. I do think overall I probably do prefer this design for a different character though. I think, you know, it could also be good for another like sad type of character because she does have this really like somber expression on her face. But I like the fact that Mikan's official design is like so reflective of like the bullying she got with like the bandages and the cut up hair and stuff like that. So I think that's why I probably will put this one in A rank rather than S rank. Next up, we have this design, which I just don't really like it very much. I think like especially for Mikan, I just don't really like it. I think it might partially be because I just like simp for Mikan so hard. She doesn't look as pretty in this design. I'll say it. It looks kind of like a mixture of like Chihiro and Fukawa, which I guess it makes sense because they're both kind of like very timid characters, and then Mikan's like a very timid character as well. So I guess they kind of like decided to kind of borrow ideas and combine them together. But yeah, I don't think I'm very crazy for it. Next up is this design, which I mean looks really similar to Mikan's official design besides like the outfit being different. And of course in this one she has like glasses too. She also has these like patches with like crosses kind of like on her arm. I'm not really sure what those are meant to be. Maybe like a first aid kit or something that she just kind of has strapped onto her. I do like it, but I feel like the outfit's a bit generic, you know what I mean? It's probably just like a placeholder outfit to be honest. Since she looks a decent bit like the original one, I guess I'll put her in A. Next up we have this design, and I think she looks super pretty. She also kind of still has like a very generic outfit on, similar to the last one. I'm guessing just kind of like a placeholder outfit. And she has those like cross patches as well. I guess besides maybe like a small portable like first aid kit, it could be like maybe something that has to do with like religion of some sort. Like maybe she's like a spiritual healer instead of like an actual nurse. That would make her a lot less useful during the investigations and stuff. But it would be kind of interesting to see more of like a spiritual healer, especially if they were a bit cultish, you know what I mean? I like this design a good bit too. I'll put an A. I again am not very hard to please while looking at these lists. I always put so many in A rank. Next up we have Nekomaru, which like Fuyuhiko has a lot of designs. The first one we have is this one where he is a much more kind of like lean and less muscular manager. He reminds me a lot of like Kai from Your Turn to Die in this design too, so I like a good bit. I'll probably put it in A rank. I think it's definitely a design I think would be cool to like reuse for a future game. I don't really think it fits Nekomaru's personality too much, but I do like it a lot. Next up is this design where again they tried to make bowl cut Teru a thing. Why? my god. I also love the fact that he has like a fanny pack and like a hard hat on. The drip never sleeps. Oh, he looks so lame though. I guess at one point maybe like Nekomaru is meant to be kind of like a funny character. I feel like the gag with this design would be that he's like a total wimp that like trains champions, you know what I mean? Like he can't even go to the gym without like a freaking hard cap on. This design is so cursed though. I think this is definitely cursed category. I'm happy it exists because it's pretty funny, but I'm glad they didn't go with that. Next we have this one, which looks like if Teru and Fuyuhiko had a child that was like a severe hillbilly with super buck teeth. It just looks so bad. But yeah, I definitely say this one's pretty damn cursed. Next up, we have an alternate to Nekomaru's robot design, which I like this one a good bit. I like the fact that it kind of shows his brain. Kind of makes him look a little bit freaky. I guess it would make the mini Nekomaru robot less cute though, is the only thing. But overall, I think it's a pretty cool design. Of course, I think it would look better with like the official outfit that they gave the robot, but otherwise, I think I like it a decent bit more. I'll go ahead and put that one in A rank. And now we have another Fuyuhiko Teru collision design. Yeah, again, it's just not good. I'm glad they gave this design to Fuyuhiko and made him not so like goofy looking, you know what I mean? But yeah, he doesn't look like a manager at all in this one. And these like little tiny specks of hair that he has like sticking out, they look so like weird to me. It kind of reminds me of like Tommy from Rugrats. Especially this one, I just kind of imagine like 10 random hair strands just like sticking out. I couldn't get a good overall shave. Don't judge me. That's what I imagined him to sound like too. But yeah, I think overall I just don't like this one very much because I feel like the other ones are at least kind of funny and I could see like there being gags and stuff that they could like add to the character, but this one, he just doesn't really look very good. So I'm gonna put it in D, just overall. Don't care for it that much. Next up, we have this one, which is also just very cursed. I mean, I think it works for the whole like wimpy manager like idea that they kind of had going on, but yeah, he looks a little rough. One thing I really do dislike about Danganronpa is that I feel like whenever they have like a character that's like overweight, they always tend to make their design like really goofy, you know what I mean? Like with Hifumi and with Teru, like they always kind of give them these like really cartoonish designs. The only character that they didn't do that with was the Ultimate Imposter, and I feel like one of the reasons they might have done that was just because they were trying to trick you into thinking it was Tagami. But yeah, for a future game, I would really like if they make like a plus size character and then not make them look like so goofy, you know what I mean? Like actually give them like a normal design, make them attractive, you know? It's just like it's just so weird to me how they always do that. I don't really like that aspect of the games, you know? But yeah, overall this is cursed. I don't really care for it. It is pretty funny to look at, especially like imagining Fuyuhiko looking like that in the game. I know it's a design for Nekomaru, but he does look a lot more like Fuyuhiko in this design. But yeah, it's pretty cursed. Now we have actual Fuyuhiko, which I mean, he really just looks exactly like Fuyuhiko, just in a manager outfit instead of a mobster one. I mean, obviously this design's super cute because it looks exactly like Fuyuhiko, but I'm glad they ended up giving this design to Fuyuhiko overall. I do kind of wonder if he would have actually been strong with any of these designs, not even just this one. It kind of is funny to imagine like the manager being like super tough, but them kind of being like goofy looking or like really scrawny looking, you know what I mean? I feel like especially if they went in that direction with this design, it would remind me of like Honey Senpai from Oran, which I think would be pretty cute. But yeah, overall I do like this design a lot for Baby Gangster, and I like Nekomaru's design that they ended up going with. So I'll probably put this one in B. Then the last Nekomaru design we have is this one, which he kind of has like Splatoon hair in. I think that's the main thing that I think of. It looks so like in one bunch, you know what I mean, on each side. It's so interesting looking. I don't really have too much to say about it other than that. I feel like if they kind of like revamped it a little bit, it could be a good design for like another character, but I don't really have too much of an opinion, so I might put it in like C, I guess, since I feel like it probably needs a bit more work to make it kind of more interesting. And next up we have another Mizuno like design for Peko this time. And yeah, I mean, this one looks almost exactly like that design that they almost gave to Buki. Again, I'm glad they didn't give it to either of the characters. Yeah, it still just looks very much like Mizuno with like the sailor uniform and like the hair part and stuff to me. I guess she does have like glasses on and like a much more like somber face, but I still feel like she looks a little too much like Mizuno in my opinion. And next up we have Sparkling Justice Peko, which If that's not cursed, I don't know what is. There's a lot of cursed designs for the Danganronpa 2 characters. God, I'm so happy they didn't give the sparkling justice face to anybody, especially not Peko. Imagine her looking like this and then Fuyuhiko getting that like Astro Boy or the Bowl Terra Terra haircut. Oh my god, most beautiful couple ever. All of a sudden, Kuzu-Peko shippers diminish at an increasingly fast rate. I mean, she would look terrifying, you know, in the second trial when she does like that crazy face, you know, but oh, that's just so... looks so weird. She looks like a Chucky doll. Next up, we have dark-haired Sayonji, which I just kind of thought it was interesting, like the idea of her with like darker hair. I think I prefer it with blonde hair though. Other than that, I don't really have too much to say. I'll just put her in C. Okay, so this is Weeby from the future while editing this video. Something I wanted to add in here is that there's a pretty big rumor going around about beta Sayonji at the moment. Basically, the idea is that during the first chapter, Teruhiko ended up kidnapping Hiyoko and chopping her up and serving her as food to the rest of the cast. And then Tugami is killed like normal, but during the trial when they find out that they ended up eating Hiyoko, Akane, who I'm guessing ate a lot of her, dies from food poisoning. And I've seen this rumor a lot. I've been getting it commented on my videos a lot too, and I can't find any confirmation on this being real at all. The oldest post that I could find discussing this was a joke post on the Danganronpa Amino app from 2017, so I'm going to assume that this is just a rumor that kind of got blown up out of proportion. As for my opinion on this idea, I think it's interesting, but I just have a lot of questions. Like, why did Teru serve Hiyoko to everybody? I think that's my biggest question. I'm curious to know what the explanation for that would be. I definitely think it's like an interesting idea, but I think I would prefer to see it in a game like Distrust, where there's like a lot of different routes and it kind of has like a darker theme. Just because I would be pretty bummed out to see like so many characters die in the very first chapter. I mean, that would be 4 characters dead just from the first chapter. That's a lot of like unused potential in my opinion. But that's just my opinion on it. Feel free to let me know what you guys think. And next up, we have Sinner, as she's called in the art book that I have. I've seen a lot of people think that this was like a beta design for Akane, but in my book, it just says Sinner, so I'm assuming that it was for like a separate character, you know what I mean? And so I want to add in another correction here. It seems like the reason why people think that this is a beta design of Akane is because there's a rumor that Akane was meant to be Hajime's rival. I can't find an interview confirming this, but it does seem like a lot of people think this because of this promotional image where she's refuting Hajime. People have also brought up that Hajime means beginning and Owari means end, which is another reason why people speculate about them having a rivalry. Unfortunately, I can't confirm exactly what this translates to, so I can't exactly confirm if this is really about Akane being a villain or not. And that's why I'm just kind of referring to this whole thing as a rumor at the moment. Another thing I've seen people point out in regards to Akane is the fact that her outfit looks really similar to Junko's beta designs outfit. So that's another reason why people think potentially she could have originally been a villain. But I just wanted to explain it to you guys because I think it's kind of interesting and I just kind of wanted to provide that extra context, you know. Also, I noticed while making this video that there is a lot of rumors in the Danganronpa fan base. I think that might actually be like an interesting video to make, so please let me know if you guys are interested in that. Because there was even a couple of other ones I found besides like this one and the Hiyoko one while I was making this video. I feel like her design reminds me a good bit of Makuro too. I actually think I might like this design better than Makuro since it's kind of got like the swirly hair. I feel like it makes her look a little bit more interesting. I like the chain too on her neck. Makes her look super cool. But yeah, I wonder what her talent would be like. I'm not really sure exactly what I think of like a Sinner talent being. Like maybe she's related to like witchcraft or like cults or something like that. But I think she's a really interesting character and I could definitely see her being kind of like a antagonistic type of like female character, which I think would be pretty cool. Honestly, I think I'll put her in S rank. I like her a good bit. I think that would definitely be a cool design to kind of reuse for later. And then we have this next design for her, which I was only able to find in my art book actually. In this one, she has pretty different hair. I do like her hair and her outfit a lot better in the other one, but I still think she's a pretty cool like character idea. She also kind of has like the swirly eyes here too, which does make me think that she would have been a more antagonistic type of character or maybe like a murderer at least. Granted, if we do get another Danganronpa game, I think it'd be nice if the antagonistic character was female instead, because we haven't gotten one of those yet, and I think that'd be kind of nice to see. I don't really feel like I see female villains enough like in media in general. I don't like this design quite as much as her other one, so I'll go ahead and put it in an A rank. Next up, we have Sanya Nevermind, and I like her design a good bit. I do think I overall prefer the dress that she has in the official design, but one thing that I find interesting about this design is that in one of these sketches, she looks kind of evil. Kind of has this like smug, you know, look to her, kind of like that Kamida sprite, you know, that we see mostly in the 4th trial. I was actually like really convinced that Sanya was the killer for the 5th chapter, just because like nobody else made sense, and I think at one point she was like one of the only people that didn't have like a super strong alibi to me. It would be interesting to see like a a more evil Sonya, you know what I mean? Especially since she's like obsessed with serial killers. I could totally see her wanting to reenact like some of her favorite serial killers or something like that. That'd be so creepy and weird. But I definitely could see her making like a pretty good villain at some point. But yeah, I like the idea of her being potentially a killer, so I'll put it in A rank. And next up we have this one. I think I'm gonna put this one in C because it's not a bad design. It does look pretty similar to like her official one, just like her hair is a little bit different. And then she kind of has like a more like generic uniform on. I feel like it's a nice design, just kind of needs some more revamping, you know what I mean? Next up we have this design where she looks a lot more somber in it for sure. Maybe like in this version of her character, she feels more like weighted down with like all the power and like responsibilities she has as like a future leader of a country. But I think it's really pretty overall. I put it in an A rank. I think it would be kind of cool to see Sonya with like a more serious demeanor, you know what I mean? And next up we have Sumo. And this was another one that I only found in my art book. Again, it just kind of comes back to why do they always feel to make like a joke out of like an overweight character in Danganronpa? I'm just so tired of it. Like, I'm just gonna put it in D rank. I'm glad it wasn't quite as bad with Teruhiko. They still gave him like serious scenes and like a backstory and stuff like that, which made him like an interesting character, but they still made his design like way more goofy and cartoonish than the other characters, you know what I mean? And this one just feels like a more extreme version, you know, kind of like going back to like Yamada, basically making them look like just super kind of ridiculous, you know, and cartoonish. But yeah, I would really like to see more plus size characters not designed like this and not made to look like so goofy, you know? Next up, we have Teru, and specifically good-looking Bishonen Teru. I think a lot of people are big fans of this design. It'd be kind of interesting to see him being handsome. He still kind of has a very like perverted kind of like skeevy personality, I feel like, especially like in this one. He looks like he's up to no good. I can imagine if he actually looked like this, we would see a lot more essays of why Teru was misunderstood. He does kind of look more like a biker gang person than like a cook though in this design too. I like it a good bit though. I think for me, I would have liked if they did make him like, you know, a bit chubbier, but then kind of give him more of like a handsome face like this, you know what I mean? Rather than like the design they ended up going with. Just cause yeah, I feel like the overly goofy designs just kind of, I don't know, they kind of break the fourth wall for me sometimes, especially during serious scenes, and Teru had some pretty, you know, serious scenes. I'll put an S tier though, because I do think it would have been cool for Teru to get more of like a realistic looking design. Next up, we have another Bishonen Teru design. I mean, he looks very handsome, but I do like the uniqueness of the other design a lot better. He looks a lot more kind of like skeevy and perverted like Teru in the other design too, like he's up to no good, you know what I mean? And this one, he just kind of looks more handsome. I'll probably put it in A rank though. I think it's probably an interesting design that they could maybe like touch up a bit more and like reuse for another character in the future. Next up, we have buff, scary Teru, and I don't really know what they were thinking with this one. Like, he doesn't look like a cook at all. Like, what is he cooking? Humans? Like, yeah, work at a slaughterhouse. We have a very special kind of meat. Don't ask what the secret ingredient is. It's like, oh wait, there's some kind of eyelashes on your sword there, Teru. Oh, don't ask about that. Totally not human eyelashes or anything. Ignore the human nails on the knife as well. No biggie. I do like that idea of there being like a gag like that. So I'm gonna put this in A rank. I think it'd be pretty funny if the whole time they were just like, yeah, I don't think he's really telling the truth about his talent, guys. I'm pretty sure he's a mass murderer. I think I may have seen a toenail in the soup he made us. I really would not eat that, guys. Next up, we have buff bug catcher Teru. I mean, this is like honestly exactly how I imagine like the bug catchers in Pokemon looking like. You know, the ones who have like 7 like level 2 Caterpies. Come on, bro. Why'd you catch all those? Why don't you train them? Like, what's the point? But yeah, that's basically what he looks like. I'd say this is pretty damn cursed. This is a really big curse list for this video. My God. And yeah, what's up with like the bug net? Is he cooking bugs, or was he originally gonna be like the Ganta character whose talent had to do with that? I don't get it, man. I don't get it. And then last but not least, we have Zombie Girl. And this is another one that I saw people calling this like a Mikon beta, but again, in my book, it just calls her Zombie Girl, and I'm assuming that means she was just supposed to be her own separate character. I can see why people would think that she was meant to be Mikon, but I think she's probably a little too different, so I'm just gonna call her Zombie Girl. But yeah, I think she's like really beautiful. I don't really understand her talent though, like she's just a zombie. I guess she might be kind of like Kibo in the sense that, you know, he's like just a robot, therefore he's the ultimate robot. and like she's the only zombie girl, so therefore she's the ultimate zombie girl. I guess so, but I think her design's pretty cool. I like the fact that she like carries her brain around with her. I like this goofy sprite of her with like her eyes kind of bulging out. I feel like that'd be super funny to see her doing that. And then I like the little like Princess Leia buns that she has. This is honestly like one of my favorite designs, I think. I kind of wish that she existed. I feel like this is like peak Danganronpa too, you know? Like the talent's goofy, it makes no sense, but her design looks good, and I feel like I could like still take her seriously, you know, while still having like this kind of goofy scenes with like her eyes poking out and like, you know, she's holding her brain. She like maybe loses her brain at some point, you know? I could see a lot of like gags kind of coming from this, but I still feel like she looks serious enough to where I could like not feel like it's breaking the fourth wall during like intense scenes. So you know what? I'm gonna give her an S rank. I like you. I like you, zombie girl. I think you're beautiful, and I think your talent's kind of weird, but I still like you a lot, and you're very pretty. Before I end the video, I want to add in a couple of extra ones. Originally, I didn't include Kazuichi or the Ultimate Imposter because I felt like their beta designs were too close to their official ones. But now I kind of feel bad because they're the only characters left out of this video, especially if Sinner is actually meant to be Akane, which again, I can't really find any confirmation on that. But just in case, I figured I would add them here. With Kazuichi, the only real difference is that he's wearing glasses. In one of his free time events, he actually mentions that he wears contacts and that he changed his looks after being betrayed by one of his best friends. So it'd be kind of cool to see him wearing the glasses, since I feel like that portrays more of a softer side of him. But yeah, I like it, so I'll put it in A rank. For the Ultimate Imposters, he looks pretty similar. The only real difference is his outfit has changed. It looks a bit more generic in this one, so I think I'm gonna probably put it in C, just because I think it looks a lot more unique in the official design. But anyways, this will conclude the video. Here is the full list. Feel free to let me know if you agree or disagree with it. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please leave a like and a comment if you did enjoy it, because it really does help me out. And yeah, feel free to let me know if you agree or disagree with my list. I'm very curious to see what you guys think about some of these, because some of them are so interesting, you know what I mean? And yeah, thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys real soon.